Hello to all DNB enthusiasts. Welcome to Inverse Audio. My name's 5X, and in today's episode of How to DNB with Inverse Audio, we'll be taking a deep dive into the production style of vibe chemistry. I'll be teaching you the secret formula that he uses to create his infectious tracks. So if you're ready to take your DNB game to the next level, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Can we hit 100 likes? Make sure you join our Discord down below for any feedback on your tracks. Check out our website for any sample packs. And without any further ado, let's get right into the video. Let's kick things off with talking about the use of vocal and melody within Vibe Chemistry's tracks. Believe it or not, multiple of Vibe Chemistry's hits, such as Ballin', Baddest, Living Like This, and Loca, all contain vocals from Splice. From my research, I found he uses multiple vocals from the same Splice pack and arranges them to sound like a full and interesting song. He will then layer this vocal with a melodic element such as a pluck, bell, or a guitar. Using a simple and catchy melody will help you grab the attention of the listener and will make the song stuck in their head, resulting in more repeated listens. So talking about the vocal, I've found one from Splice, as he does, and I'll play you it now.
I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing. One hit of you and then I'm out here feeling alive. I'm out here feeling alive. You're just like the bad girl, and then she's the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it.
So that's the main vocal hook here. And on this vocal, I've put on just a bit of processing, some compressions, EQs, a de-esser, some saturation, another EQ, a denoiser, another compressor, and just a bit more saturation. This all helps make the vocal really stand out in the mix. Now for the melodic element, I've actually recreated the pluck from Balling. Sounds like this. Paired with the other melody, it's a very nice question and answer type of feel. Pair that along with an intro bass. And all together with a vocal, sounds like this.
I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing. One hit of you and then I'm out here feeling alive. I'm out here feeling alive.
Alright, let's move on to the drums. The first rule of thumb is to keep them punchy and snappy. Layer your snare hits, experiment with various samples, and don't be afraid to add a touch of distortion for that gritty edge. Make sure that these are all balanced. You don't need your drums to overpower the whole track. Now the key to nailing that signature DNB rhythm lies in the hi-hats and cymbals. Get creative with intricate patterns and fast-paced rolls to give your track that frantic energy it craves. Now let's break down the drums. I've gone for a simple kick, very punchy, tight transient, basic snare, same rules apply, a hi-hat on the offbeat, layered that with a top loop, along with a break. I've filtered out the lower frequencies so the kick doesn't clash. Altogether, that sounds like. For the drop, I've also included this drum break that I found on Splice. Gives it a nice little introduction. And in terms of drums, you want to keep these quite simple, punchy, but yet snappy, not overpowering your track, like I said earlier. Next up, we have the bass. This is where you can let your imagination run wild. Aim for a powerful, growling bass sound that commands attention. Vibe Chemistry often likes to use a mid-womp bass hitting at the start of every bar. Experiment with different waveforms, filters, and modulation techniques to find that perfect balance of movement and gritty mid-range. Remember, it's all about creating movement in the bass line, utilize pitch bends, LFO, and automation. Now in my track, staying true to Vibe Chemistry, I've created a mid-womp bass, as he often uses. It sounds like this. Here is a serum patch. LFO1 controls the whole sound by utilizing the filter and the FM actually going down this time. Mine is 2 octaves and this one is regular at +7 semitones with a sub underneath, but I have filtered out the low frequencies so that the 808 underneath can shine through. Nothing too crazy on the effects, just a very powerful sound. Next, we have the foghorn. This is actually one from my sample pack. As you can see, it's all controlled by this LFO1 here. Just a lot of distortion on the effects. When you pair those two together, you get a nice question and answer melody. I think a key for his melodies is having this bass hit before anything else and at the start of every bar, as you can see here. I've left a little break here just to let this foghorn shine through, but overall they complement each other very nicely. Now underneath the want bass, I've layered an 808. This gives it a very nice bounce. It's just a basic 808 you would hear in any trap song. And next up, the last bass that we have here is this rolling 8th bass, which uses an LFO. This one is actually a splice preset, but let me show you how it works. All controlled by LFO1 again. You can use any basic waveforms here. Then the main goal is to just automate this filter and the distortion, so you get a sound that opens up over time. Now for everything together. I've not changed the bass or anything at all. I've also added the two plucks from the intro, which runs through the whole track. And the vocals, we've got a nice little chorus section here.
You're just like the bad girl, and me, she's the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it. You like the bad, bad, bad girl, and me the bad, bad.
As you can see, all very simple, complements itself, and it's very self-explanatory. Now that we've got drums and bass locked in, let's talk about the arrangement. Drum and bass is all about dynamics. Don't be afraid to go wild with variations and build-ups. Create tension using filtered breaks or drum fills before slamming the audience into a full force of the drop. Having two distinct sections is key to achieving that encapsulating movement. Vibe Chemistry often likes to use a lot of plucks and ambient pads in his breakdowns, with a repeating catchy vocal before it drops into the main section. Don't be afraid to use plenty of effects such as risers, down filters, and impacts to reinforce the energy. So if we go from the start here, I'll break down all the automations and all the effects that we've got going on. So right before we get into the first sort of section, we have this riser. And if you hear that in context,
Out here feeling alive, I'm out here feeling alive. You're just like the bad girl.
and that leaves this really nice gap here where it can create a lot of tension, and it also gives us room for this vocal to be introduced. Now in the next section, I've added in this filtered break, which slowly opens up. Another great way of introducing tension for the track. And I've also introduced the bass from the main section and slowly introducing it with a low cut. Then if we move up to the build-up section, we've got a whole bunch more effects here. Exact same thing going on here. I've also added in a little ticking clock for some dramatic effect. It's very simple, but it adds a lot more texture to your track, and that's what makes it stand out. So now we have two different sections that are completely contrasting. We've got the intro, which is very calm. It's more relaxed. We still have the same elements, but they're just not being introduced fully. We've got the drop. And as you can see, it's very simple. We just have 4 different bass lines. We've got the pluck, a simple DNB loop, and a catchy vocal. That's all it is to achieving his sound. Then if we go back here, and if we go to this section, I've introduced a decapitator onto the vocal, which just makes it sound distorted, and I've also given it a telephone effect.
You like the bad, bad, bad girl. You like the bad, bad, bad girl.
Then moving on to the second breakdown.
I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing.
And then, as you can see, it's literally just a repeat of what we have in the intro. The only thing that I'm doing different is having this 4x4 drop. It wouldn't be a 5x track without 4x4 drop. Not something that Vibe Chemistry, I don't think I've seen them do it, but it adds a lot of spice into the track. I'll play it for you real quick, and then I'll break down the bass.
You're just like the bad girl, image is the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on.
As you can see, they are just two sine waves that are slightly distorted, playing on the offbeat.
Bad girl, image is the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a
Works very well, and then we introduce some hi-hats and some pre-shifted claps.
bad girl. And me the bad girl. You
And the bass as usual, and then before reintroducing it back into the DNB.
wow with it, go up and down with it. You like the bad girl. And me the bad girl. You like the bad.
But yeah, that is essentially Vibe Chemistry's formula to creating an addicting track. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Can we hit 100 likes as before, please? Leave a comment on what you want to see next. Join our Discord. Trying to get that really active at the minute, so I'm trying to push it. If you need any samples, make sure you go to our website. And without any further ado, I'm going to play the full track now. Until next time.
I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing. One hit of you and then I'm out here feeling alive. I'm out here feeling alive. You're just like the bad girl, image is the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it. You tell me all these sweet lies, sweet lies. You give me all these deep highs, deep highs. You're just like the bad girl, image is the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. And now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it. You like the bad girl, and me the bad girl. You like the bad girl. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it. You like the bad girl. I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing. One hit of you and then I'm out here feeling alive. I'm out here feeling alive. You're just like the bad girl, image is the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest.